Ladies and gentlemen, it is a no salt allowed double feature. We're taking to the skies once again with another Grind Sky signee, a new player for Grind Sky. Not Nature Lover, but we have the one and only DJ Vermilion, DVJ Vermilion on Facebook. There he is, the man, the
Hi
myth, the
guys, what's
legend
up?
himself. Oh my God, Vermilion, long time no see. I mean, we talked a bit offline, but how have you been? What's been going on with you?
I've been good, man. Thanks for having me, as always. Not much, just been chilling, working. Uh, been kind of hibernating and working on a lot of things personally in and out of the game. So I'm kind of happy with it. It feels like it's been working out. So yeah, hopefully, I get to show good things when I
Mm-hmm.
can, when the opportunity comes. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the off season right now. You can get to recharge. I know that we spoke countlessly when like the Nats were happening, ICFC. Like you really like dived into the game to the point of like needed a break. So hopefully, at this time away from the game or like it makes you rekindle your love for the game, which it has. What I wanted to ask was, 2021 was a big year for you, from Signal to testing out free agency and now signing in with one of the hottest organizations out there, Grind Sky. What was the journey like for you? The highs and lows of it. Let's hear it.
It was pretty interesting, if I could use that term. Lots of highs, definitely a lot of lows. Um, but yeah, 2021, most of that was really just nationals. So that was a pretty crazy time for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, got to figure out a lot of things about myself and about other people. So that
Okay.
was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know, lots of events that transpired over the year. Uh, I didn't do as great as I wanted to during nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lots of things going on at the time. Uh, Eventually led to me parting ways with Signal, and going for a little run independently. But I felt it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy with what happened with my short stint as a free agent.
Shout outs to
Kind
my
of
wallet.
opened,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you, my wallet. But yeah, I feel like it opened up a few other things, and yeah, just kind of helped me eventually secure my spot in Grind Sky. So I'm really, really happy with how that's been going so far. It's hard to explain, but it's a huge jump from how I used to operate, or how we used to operate rather,
Mm-hmm.
with Coach. So yeah, very, very happy with it. It's kind of hard to just express that right now, but there's so much going on with just how good Grind Skies is an org.
Right.
Couldn't have asked for a better one at the moment. So
Hey,
yeah.
yeah, a lot of people are excited, and once the news broke out that you and Nature Lover were signed, I told Nature Lover yesterday because that's when we had our interview and we talked more about coaching. I said that it could have been like a hole in the competitive scene if you guys weren't even present. So it's great that Grind Sky was able to pick you guys up. Now I want to zone in on the time where you tested out free agency because I called the action when you won the EILAT, the one that you went to Israel to represent, and it was like this was the Vermilion of old, I would say. Like he was playing out of his mind. This is the Vermilion we saw because I would have to call a spade a spade. The Nationals, the way it ended, it didn't go in your favor, obviously, right? So, what was the change in mindset that you had? Did it motivate you more that you were playing out of your wallet?
Uh, oh, sorry.
I just
The wallet had nothing to do with it, but thanks though.
Mhm.
Um, well, to be completely honest about it, I guess, it's just different when you're playing and competing just because you want to, just
Mhm.
because you love the game, and just because you want to be there. I can't really say the same about how that was back then.
Mhm.
When I was with my previous sponsor back in the Nationals, um, it was a pretty tough time, in more ways than one. I went
Okay.
through a lot of stuff personally, and yeah, towards the end of the season, um, lots of other stuff happened. My grandfather died, so I
Right.
was competing with that at the back of my head towards the entire season because, yeah, literally throughout the entire year of nationals and the previous years, he was already like declining in health. So you always have that in the back of your head, like crap, I'm in Manila,
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh.
Lolo's back at home. Like I might need to be there because
Mm-hmm.
stuff could go down,
Mm-hmm.
which it did eventually. But fortunately, I was able to make it home
Right.
for when it did. But yeah, there was that. Um, and like I was saying earlier, it's different when you're able to compete with a clear mind
Mm.
and not feel the how do I call this? Like, there's two kinds of pressure, right? There's
Mm.
healthy pressure and there's
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy kind of pressure. The
Right.
unhealthy pressure being like,
Peer
oh, you
pressure.
got
I'm
to
kidding.
win. Yeah, well, I mean, to an extent,
Yeah.
sure. But, where it's like, you got to win, you
Mm-hmm.
got to place, or you're going to get booted out. That's
Oof. That's like
kind
gun to
of
your head type pressure. Like, okay,
something like
perform
that.
at the last minute. With, I would have to say, the most competitive season we've seen the Nationals with, the Academy Series, the road to Path to Pro, with Jules in the height of his power after his 2020, like, like, it wasn't his year 2020, but they were able to rebuild. So, yeah, I can imagine that type of pressure can crumble anyone.
Yeah, because I mean, there were definitely a lot of good points
Mm-hmm.
to you know being with my previous sponsor. Uh, there were just a lot of things that also made it really difficult to compete at the level that I personally wanted to and
Right.
knew that I could.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I don't think I should really get too much detail, but like,
the
but
I'll let everyone know now that that episode will be out on our Patreon if you guys want to. I'm kidding.
oh boy, you got
No,
a Patreon? Wow,
no. I'm hoping. I don't know, we'll see.
you
Like,
should.
no salt allowed after hours. Just Vermilion will tell all. But yeah, I get that. You know what? With this type of well, there were a lot of highs when it came to your sponsor, and you know what? There were some, I would say, moments of stretches and moments of, like, you know what, little stressfulness as well. So I get it, and I think it worked out for the best because I think they wanted different things. You wanted different things, especially also Nature Lover, and now I think it all like panned out the way it should have. Now you guys are in Grind Sky.
Yeah, that's the main thing I'm thankful for that
Mm-hmm.
we ended up with Grind Sky because if we weren't with them, I don't know where I'd be right now to be honest, or if I'd be as happy being anywhere else. It's just really hard to express how huge of a jump it
Mm-hmm.
is being with Grind Sky to
Mm-hmm.
the point that me and Jamil kind of question it, like, wait, why
You're
is it
being
so
too
great
nice.
here? Yeah, like what's going on? Why is it so good here?
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna happen? What's the bad thing that's gonna happen, right?
Okay,
But
aside
yeah,
from that, and this is the last question I'm gonna ask about, like, wrapping up the year of 2021. What's the difference? What's the one of the main differences that you've noticed with your new sponsor, with your previous sponsor, that you can say you're playing with a clearer mind?
mm, mostly that they understand esports, I
Mm,
think, and they understand the competitive nature of esports, or even just sports in general.
mm,
Because a lot of the issues that arose from the past
mm-hmm,
were this overemphasis on like numbers and
mm,
results and stuff, and like there's already a lot of pressure as is trying to compete with the
mm,
other pro players in the nationals or like in general,
mm-hmm.
because like everyone's just really good,
Yeah.
and then that's pressure enough already, and then you got to worry about the results that you have to give, or else you're going to be out of a job if you don't
Yeah.
give the results, which was kind of what happened. But yeah,
I mean,
but
that's a ton of pressure, and I think I was
yeah,
able to speak to Tishumon. Shout out to Tishumon, a player from Japan, because he was sponsored by a number of people. Like, when he was in Italy, when he was in Japan,
mm,
he said that there was this one sponsor that went up to him and it's like, you have to place, and he's like, you're looking at the wrong guy. I don't want to be part of this team if you're gonna ask me to place in a pool of killers like in Japan or Italy. Like, the sponsors that he did go with are the ones that say, just show up to the event, do your best, do well, be a brand ambassador. And yeah, I mean, they really understand FGC because it's with a pool of killers, it's so hard to like guarantee I'm gonna place like top 3 at least. Like
Exactly.
that's
You don't
crazy.
really see the same people winning every single time. You can kind of see a consistent trend of who's up there placing
Mm-hmm.
well in top eight or whatnot, but it's very rare that you see the same dude winning every single thing. I mean, there was a point where like, AK won like a crap ton of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, even then it's really hard to just do that consistently. It's hard to just get top eight consistently,
Yeah.
to be honest. So that's what I'm grateful for with Grind Sky is that they understand how competition works.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess what's changed the most is that I was talking about good, healthy pressure and unhealthy pressure earlier. Back then, I was pressured so hard because I felt I had to place, and I had to worry about the guy in front of me that I got to beat, and then I got all these personal problems back at home that I got to worry about, and I have to like, I felt like I had to stay mentally resilient in the
Mm-hmm.
game to just get by. So yeah, that was a lot for me. I'm not using that as an excuse though, because everyone
Well,
was
we want to know
bust-
your story, so yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing
yeah.
that. Mm-hmm. Continue.
So yeah, I mean, not to discredit the people like playing in Nats because they were all busting their butts off too, practicing and trying really hard. But I'm just happy that you gave me the chance to express how difficult it was for me
Mm-hmm.
to compete properly the way I wanted to at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, so much crap going
Of
on,
course,
a
yeah.
lot of external stuff that I felt was really unfair because I was like, why do I have to worry about this? And other people can just play and not worry about anything,
Yeah,
like
you get to
whatever.
that
So
unhealthy mind state, and
yeah, it was really hard.
that's what I think. Like, I love the nationals, and I love like that we're still able to do competition online. But I think that's what I miss most about offline. You get to see the person, you get to see what they're going through. Because like right now,
Yeah,
we just see the game on screen, but we don't see the stories. And yeah, you had a lot to tell. I'm sure a lot of the competitors as well have a lot they're going through and stuff. And that's why I hope
oh yeah,
this platform could be a beacon for that. That you get
oh
to be
yeah,
able to voice out these stories.
definitely. Yeah, like everyone's always going through something. Like they're like, you
Mm-hmm.
can't say like, oh, I have it rough, and just expect people to empathize with you and like turn it into a little pity party, which I'm not trying to do
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
like everyone's going through something.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels somewhat relieving that I'm able
Of
to
course.
express this and
Yeah.
stuff.
Hey, man.
So if I go back to
Mm-hmm.
like Grind Sky, right, it's a different kind of pressure because it's like I want to place for them and I want to perform for them because they've been treating us so well. It's like the very least I could do to
Mm.
give back, because like they've been so good to us. Like you want to at least
Mm.
try to put them out
Reciprocate.
there
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the major difference. It doesn't sound like a lot when I just put it like that in that way, but it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's so big because there was a point where I hated Tekken, like, and this
Wow.
was like mid national season. I just hated it so much that yeah, I was playing a lot of Wild Rift. I was
We were playing Apex on mobile.
We were playing Apex. I was doing whatever I could to just get away from Tekken,
Mm-hmm.
but now I guess yeah, like with just this whole fresh mindset and environment with Grind
Support
Sky, I,
too.
I was
Yeah.
able to
Mm-hmm.
support. I was able to like fall in love with the game again. Like I find myself like thirsting for Tekken whenever I'm done with work or when I got free
Nice.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was like, oh, I don't want to play, but now I'm like, man, like I gotta sneak in some
Mm-hmm.
time and get some games in, and
Yeah.
so
That's
it changed a lot.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man, and I love that you emphasize like that support. And we were talking about this in the previous episode with Nature Lover. Like mindset is super important. Like you
Hmm.
still have to love the game that you're playing without
Oh yeah.
the bad type of pressure that you're talking about. So yeah, it's
Hmm.
definitely a reciprocity. I'm so excited to see what you guys have in store for us this year because you know what? To cap off the 2021, you guys went to Israel to represent the Philippines in the EILAT. So let's talk about that because that must have been a journey. And shout outs to Grind Sky for you know what? Yeah, you carried the flag, started from Bacolod. Now you're here. I saw that post, man.
Oh boy.
How was
Yeah.
that like?
Which part of it? Because the trip wasn't fun.
Let's
But
hear about the trip then.
I mean,
Well, in the time of COVID,
yeah.
I can imagine how much of a hassle it must be like traveling in these times during a pandemic.
Well, I guess I mean, shout outs again to Grind Sky. They sorted out so much crap with the documents and the whole traveling process that made things a lot easier than it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
So they helped us out a lot with that in areas that they didn't even need to. Um, the trip itself
Mm-hmm.
was kind of difficult to work with because if I count the time from leaving Manila, we had to get a connecting flight and then take a bus, and then yeah, it was just a long
Ooh.
travel. Like overall, it was close to like almost 30 hours of travel from
Whoa.
Manila to get to
Mm-hmm.
EILAT.
Yeah.
So
Israel.
that was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was Jamil's first time in an airplane. So
Jesus, just put
yeah,
him out in the deep end right away. All right.
yeah,
30
pretty much.
hours. Oof. Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was interesting though. Israel's very, what's the term? I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect going into it because I usually lean more towards the Asian countries, so I
Yeah.
had absolutely no idea what's going on in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty chill. Like the weather's good. Like it's like a mini Philippines with a nice little breeze.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, it was cool. It felt pretty safe there.
Mm-hmm. I like the fact. I know we talked about it a little bit, but it was. I think the timing was perfect when you guys left Israel. That's when like cases start to spike up. So thank God. Yeah, we'll talk about that after. So like, the travel was kind of a hassle. How was the like? Let's say leading up to the competition because, first of all, it wasn't streamed unfortunately, but it was a best of one, right? So my God, let's talk about pressure.
Yeah.
More pressure,
I
right?
mean, no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was still a best of three,
Oh, best of
but
three.
single
Okay.
elims.
Oh, single elims. Oh my God, sorry, not best of
Yeah,
one, but single. Oh my God, so one life. Ugh.
yeah, one life, one life. I mean, everyone
But
was.
but how about when you reach to the top eight? Two lives? No, everyone starts at the winner side.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was single elims all the way.
Oh my God! Wow,
Yeah, I'm not
that's
sure about grand
insane.
finals to be completely honest with you. I kind of bailed right after I lost to Joker.
Oof.
So I
Okay.
was like, okay, I just want to chill now, like out of
Okay.
here. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was interesting. I don't feel too bad I lost to him because he won the whole thing.
There
So
we go.
whatever.
Boom. Yeah.
But
You take the L
yeah,
from
everyone was
the
really nice.
champ. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I got to meet different people
Mm-hmm.
from like what Mexico, Spain, Venezuela, Italy. Then who else was there? Like yeah, South Africa. So that was pretty interesting. I,
Yeah.
I was surprised to find there was even a Greece player, player from Greece. He was pretty strong, to be
Wow.
honest.
Okay.
Yeah, so Greece has silent killers too. Um, but yeah, the tournament itself was kind of meh. I mean, it was nice. It was nice because you got to represent, got to hold the flag, got to do the little march thing.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think everyone was clamoring for double elims, and I think they're taking that into consideration for the next
Hey, fingers crossed.
IESF.
Yeah.
Yeah, even yeah. So hopefully that changes.
Mm-hmm. If I may ask, like, since you were able to meet these communities, what's the pulse check like when it comes to like, yeah, the different communities? You did say there are silent killers in Greece. Nature
Mm,
Lover did tell me to ask, ask you to bring up Hitesh from India.
mm. Yeah. What does he want me to bring up about Hitesh?
He's a Leroy man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's okay. He like Leroy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leroy. But he used Leroy really differently and really creatively to a point that I was actually fascinated playing with him, and that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of the first time I was actually um kind of into it playing against a Leroy because normally I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, okay, let's try to win. It's a Leroy,
Down
but
three
like
two,
yeah,
yeah. But
yeah,
what
he was
amazed me,
doing.
yeah. Just to chime in, just to add some context, he goes to Hermit manually. He's doing like really like interesting stuff with Leroy, not how we usually see like the Leroy in competitive play that we're used to.
Yeah, he had really creative sequences with his Leroy and some things that I didn't even know were possible, like how he'd set up for certain scenarios and Oki situations. It was so fun to play with to a point that I actually started picking up Leroy after
Let's
that too
go.
and trying to
Okay.
copy what he was doing. Like,
Dang.
I mean, just to get a feel of it and understand, right?
Mm, yeah.
I mean, it was really interesting to see how these characters are used so differently. Like when you fight like character specialists from other regions. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the one thing I miss most, I guess, playing these different styles of characters that you would never see otherwise. You
Mm-hmm.
never like think about moves being used certain ways until you see it from like actual
Yeah, it
specialists.
being done, right? Like, wow,
Yeah.
this is something that can be possible. Were there other moments like that aside from you facing Hitesh, the Leroy man?
This Feng player from, gosh, was he from? I forget which region he was from. I don't want to mess it up.
Okay,
Uh,
just say a Feng player.
yeah, Feng player. I think Chile. Yeah, he was from Chile.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think his name was Snake. He was really good too. He had a lot of creative like things as well. Like just how do you explain this? Because you
Mm,
know when you're watching character specialists and they're just doing all these creative things, you it just
yeah.
opens up your mind and stuff. It was
Mm.
kind of like that, and it's different from watching videos, seeing them do stuff compared to actually having them do it to you and you feeling what's
Ooh,
going
like
on.
the specialty and the like the
Yeah,
timing. Okay,
you
wow.
get a better understanding of what's happening or like what the character is capable of doing, and it just
Hmm.
kind of opens up a lot more ideas too. So it's
Wow.
really interesting. That's something that I don't know. I hope we can help the community develop more too. Is like just improve each other as a whole, in
Hmm.
terms of like one fundamentals and two character specialization because there's so many things you can do with these characters that I thought were just brain dead boring.
Mm.
It was really eye opening. So that was really cute.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Nature Lover before the interview and saying like, there's no in the Philippines. There's no dedicated Leroy main. Like people just have Leroy, right? But when he told me about Hitesh and how he was able to, right? I don't know. Do you know any Leroy main out there in the
None that
Philippines?
are none that are successful in tournaments.
Right? Like usually
Yeah.
I mean, Coffee Prince picked up Leroy Barrios as a Fakumam and he's known as a Steve.
I mean, yeah,
So
he's not a Leroy
he's
main
not
though.
a Leroy main. Like, there's
Yeah.
no like dedicated like you. You are a
Mm,
Devil Jin main. AK is a Shaheen main. Like you get to see like really interesting like setups and all these experience on screen. So yeah, I hope that we're able to. I like that you said that you want to help the community to develop that or like showcase that they're we're just scratching the surface with these characters.
for sure, for sure. I don't know how we're gonna do that though, to be
Mm.
honest.
Hey, it's a
But
good vision. I don't know. Like I did speak to Nature Lover. I hope we get to have like maybe I was thinking of this YouTube channel. Maybe we could have like little tidbit segments of just like, oh, did you know you could do this? Like something like that. So something to look forward to. Oh, one thing I do want to ask. So after that tournament, did you feel like you leveled up? Are you itching for offline to come back? I mean, you had a glimpse of offline already. So and now we're still back to online here.
because after that turn, I don't know if level up is the right or most accurate term for it. I feel like we leveled sideways.
Oh, okay.
Like
Like
it,
scaled.
it
You built
yeah,
a new skill tree. Okay.
yeah, it kind of opened up other ideas. It didn't increase like my current skill level like considerably because I only had like what a few days to spam casuals with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there was any incremental skill level increase gained
Mm-hmm.
from playing with everyone, but there's definitely a lot of ideas that opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Made me think about doing things a little differently or how I can do some things differently, even with my own character.
Nice.
So yeah, we had lots of brainstorming after the tournament and after playing everyone. We had so many um, plans
Let's
on
go.
how to approach tournaments after it. Some of which have not really come to fruition yet, or we have not started working on because a lot of things have been happening. But yeah, we have lots of like parked ideas
Mm-hmm.
that we're hoping to experiment with in tournaments because I don't know how to say this, but like we kind of want to see what kind of approaches work in tournaments too, or don't work. So
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to join as many as we can.
Mm.
Um,
Kind
so yeah, we're kind of all about the self improvement, self growth
okay. Yeah, testing the
mindset
waters,
right
seeing what
now.
what the best
Yeah,
strategy is. Okay, I like it. And hopefully, I mean, this year Tulong Tekken just happened next week. If you guys are listening to this, we're recording on January 29. On Feb 5, it would be Gank Wars, so that's another tournament to look forward
there's
to.
another one after that too.
Yeah, I think it's the Desert Rain.
Myself.
Yeah, Desert Rain. Shout outs to them. Another charity tournament. So I guess, these are the type of tournaments that you can test the waters in, since it's not like, let's say, a nationals or a TOC.
I guess. I mean, I don't want to coin it that way though. That we're like testing stuff out in all these tournaments, but uh, the whole pressure mentality of having to place is kind of not as prevalent. So
Mm-hmm.
we're able to have a little more freedom in tournaments and kind of do things that we kind of want to do. So we're not as uh, we're not as like invested in like winning, winning, winning. It's more of just like, okay, let's join these things with the goal of improving or working on a certain thing. Because yeah, people probably have come to realize by now that uh, the way you play in casuals and tournaments is very different. So there's a bunch of things I'm trying to polish about my tournament play too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, I'm hoping I get good results from that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, you're sharing a lot of nuggets of wisdom, and another question I had at the back of my mind to ask you was, do you have any advice? Because like the scene is kind of popping off with, especially since Academy Series happened last year. I mean, you're one of the veteran players out there, and veteran.
Old.
Well, I want to say veteran.
Yeah.
What would you? Is there any advice you'd give like people aspiring to be pro players?
Ooh, do you want the
Yes.
politically correct answer?
I
Uh,
want the Vermilion answer. Like as harsh of a
uh,
truth as it is, let's hear it. You know, because who else is gonna say it to them, right? I know Don Argus, like in the nationals, like his daughter said that she wanted to be in esports, but he'd advise not to because it's very stressful, right? Very and I get that. Like that's real. Like you have to have an honest conversation if you want to be in esports, and I think that's the conversation that people need to have. It's not just, oh, you get to play all day, right? You got it's you have to treat it professionally, and it's a job.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I guess one of the most important things to me that I can think of right now is like finding your why.
Mm.
Like why you like playing the game, what keeps you going, what keeps you coming back. Because at the end of the day, people play for different things, and like that's fine if you have a different like reason for playing or you're motivated by different things, be it what money, fame, just the pure adrenaline rush of competing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter what your motivation is, to be completely honest, as long as you're not stepping on someone. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think it's really important to get real with yourself and understand why you're
Mm-hmm.
playing,
Yeah.
so you can kind of go back to that when things go south. Um, because if we're talking about like, I mean, new generation, gosh, I'm gonna sound like an old man for
Let's
this.
hear it. Come on.
Gosh, no, because I've recently been watching Cobra Kai too.
Oh, let's
So
go. Strike first. Strike
yes,
hard. You done in season 3 or 4? The latest
I'm
one.
in I'm in I'm in two. I just
Okay.
started.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so no
No
spoilers.
spoilers. No
But yeah,
spoilers. Mm-hmm.
anyway, I was watching some of that, and it felt kind of relevant because like he was talking about how or the what's his name, Johnny, he
Mm-hmm.
was talking about how this generation's gone kind of soft, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And to some extent, I hate to say it, but you wanted the harsh, like real
Yes.
talk.
Please.
That is
Mm-hmm.
what's happened. It's it's hard to see a lot of, or it's hard to see fresh faces that are self-sufficient. It's like there's always the need for validation. There's always the need for a support system. There's always the need
Hand
to have
holding. Yeah.
someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That can be like what, a basic human like need to feel loved or valued. Sure, that's fine. That's totally fine. That's totally fine.
All
But
right.
if you're talking about like competing, if you really want to get somewhere, you can't be a little baby, because
Mm.
at the end of the day, no one's gonna be picking yourself up except you. I mean,
Yeah.
you can have a support system, but no matter how many times people are gonna tell you, "Oh, you're good, you can do it, you know, you got this." You're not gonna believe that from
Mm.
them if you don't believe it yourself,
True.
like personally.
And I think that stems
So
back to what you said. Find your why, your purpose for doing this. Like if it's for
pretty
external
much.
validation, that's not self sufficient. You need to put that in yourself, dude. I can imagine you now. Like if you're training someone, be quiet, like Johnny.
Quiet.
Quiet.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. But yeah, this isn't oh gosh, I almost cussed. This
It's
isn't
fine. I'm not monetized, so it's okay. Not yet,
okay.
anyway.
Yeah, this isn't to like, talk down
Mm-hmm.
anyone or like
Mm-hmm.
discourage the new people, or poke fun about how they've been, approaching the game, because yes, I understand like things work differently for me when I was growing up, and it's a totally different scenario now too. But at the end of the day, I feel like it really will boil to, self-sufficiency. You have to find a way to sustain yourself when
Mhm.
the going gets tough
Yeah.
because, yeah, I mean, it's okay
It's.
to have whatever reasons,
Mhm.
but if I feel I want to believe there's like flawed reasons too, because
Mhm.
if you're in it for things that are somewhat superficial, then those kind of
They don't last
don't
you.
really
Yeah.
last.
True.
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
you're in it for fame, once you don't get it, or once you don't, or once you get it too much, then what?
Yeah.
Or like some people also like learn slower than others. So
Mhm.
if your goal is fame or money and you're
Mhm.
not getting the results you want, then what else are you gonna, what else is gonna keep you going?
Mhm.
So it's a touchy topic, I know, but
Hey,
I
man.
guess I could leave it at that for
Yeah,
now.
that's
But
great. I think the realest conversations are the hardest ones to have, especially the ones that you have to, have with yourself.
and I
There,
say this with concern, okay? I
yes.
say this with full concern
Mhm.
for the Tekken scene because I want it to grow. Like I don't want
Of
people to leave. I
course.
want people to
Yeah.
improve. I want people to get better than they are so that the community improves as a
Mhm.
whole. You can't
Mhm.
like improve as a community if you're only fighting the same people all the time, or if
Mhm.
yeah, it just reaches a
Stagnant.
saturation
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, stagnant where no one's improving, right? So of
Mhm.
course I want people to improve. Of course I want like new people to
Come
send me to
in.
losers or
Yeah.
knock me out in tournaments. Like that's great.
Mhm.
That means like something's going on here. It's just I hope people that are trying to progress in this game or in esports in general kind of do a reality check and just
Okay.
take a smart approach to things, I
Yeah,
guess.
good look in the mirror, tough love from Vermilion. That's what he says. And I have to ask though, since you did mention, people should find their why. Do you mind sharing with us what's your why?
Hmm. What is my why? Well, I haven't really thought about that in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
like I was kind of a loser back in high school, and
What?
Tekken was kind of the only thing I felt like I was proficient at or I could be good at.
Mm-hmm.
It got me friends. It got me to go places, and I just love the game in general. Call it also like a dumb reason, but this game makes me feel like I have some value, or like I'm worth something or good something. Even if I'm not the best player in the world or even in the country, like I don't know, this game has just given so much to me already, and a lot of things have happened for sure. But I
Mm-hmm.
guess the biggest why at the moment, aside from like like exceeding my personal
Mm.
accomplishments, is just doing it for family too, even if that sounds
Hey.
cliche.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, it is putting money, it is putting food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta do this game justice.
I would have to
So
say that's a very Dominic Toretto Fast and Furious answer. It's family, baby.
yeah.
That's what he's doing. And Vermilion, we're rounding it off to the final minutes. I
Mhm.
wanted to ask, like 2022, what is the plan for you and Nature Lover with Grind Sky? Is there anything that you want to like tell everyone? You have a platform here with 40,000 listening.
Ooh. Um. Well, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that this early into the year there's been this many events already. So that's definitely making me really happy that the scene is kind of thriving on its own. But like this game has given me like way too much, and this community has given me way too much too. So we're definitely looking into figuring out how we can also maybe get something going for the community with Grind Skies. So still planning phase, nothing set in stone yet, but we're definitely looking into more content that'll help people improve, or just content in general, and perhaps yeah, even events,
Let's go.
tournaments and stuff. So yeah, we got to keep this game alive.
We do.
Um, but yeah, other than that, for us personally, I don't know, not much. Just been training
Mm,
secretly.
that's nice.
So
In the shadows.
yeah,
Nice. Quiet.
yeah. Personally, been making some what I feel are really good strides in my personal game. So I'm really happy about that. I just want to kind of hope it doesn't mess up.
Mm.
But yeah,
Hey,
I'm feeling really good about my improvements right now,
that's good.
and I mean, they're personal improvements, so I
Hey,
can't say they're gonna come out in tournaments. I'm just happy with
yeah.
like my personal growth so
Yeah,
far.
any improvement is always good, and anything that could help, and your mental capacity could help you in your game. And we're excited to see you compete. I don't think we've seen you compete yet this year, so hopefully. Last question: Tekken 8 or Season 5?
Tekken 8, man, everyone's so done with 7 already. It's
Really?
another
Okay.
like it's. I mean, you can Tekken 8 too, just so you could get the DLCs out of here.
Just
I want
buy
my
a new
normal
game. Yeah,
Tekken, man.
just buy another game. Okay.
I want my normal Tekken, dude.
Okay,
So
gotcha. That makes
I
sense.
mean,
All
no,
right.
no hate to the people using DLCs because, like, you got to do what you got to do to win. But like,
Mm.
I just prefer my normal Tekken. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
No hate there. That's definitely a fair criticism. Okay. Vermilion, thank you so much again for the time. Any shout outs, last minute shout outs you want to give out before we close out the show?
Um, Not much. Just Grind Sky,
Mm-hmm.
Coach, the wifey and the baby, and the community. I know it's been a weird season of stuff not really going on with the scene, or I mean there has been stuff going on, but like yeah, regardless of what my opinion was regarding the fresh faces and new players trying to do something with their career in Tekken, I really hope you find your why
Let's go.
and kind of you know where to find us.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's YouTube, there's Twitch, there's us.
Yes.
Like just use your resources, and I
Mm-hmm.
hope that we all make the community stronger as a whole because it's not just about PH anymore. It's us against the world, man. I
Yeah.
want PH to thrive.
Oh,
So
let's go. I mean, on that note, that beautiful note, thank you so much, Grind Skies Vermilion, for joining us here on the No Salt Allowed podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.